Hello everyone, welcome to an amazing tutorial. It's quite a while. I actually had a lot of things to handle in the month of January and also the month of February as well. But I want to try as much as possible to fit in always releasing videos per week for the YouTube channel to help anyone and everyone grow in any way possible, in little way I can. So basically what I'm going to be showing you how to design a music cover art using Photoshop, not Pixel App. One of the things I actually told myself I was going to do this year is to try as much as possible to carry Photoshop users along as well in my YouTube channel. Alright, so without much talk, let's get right to business. I'm going to be showing you what I did, why I did it, and walk you through the whole thing. So the first thing I'm going to do obviously is to create an artboard, which I normally will go for 2000 by 2000 since I'm going to be using a perfect square to actually get this done, right? And then of course I'll ensure that my artboard is checked so I can run multiple artboards in one file actually, and everything else just stays the same. And then I'll click on create. Now basically the first thing obviously I'm going to do is to come to I have my files, and I'm going to drag in the first file, right? Just like so. And I'm going to scale up, I'm going to hold alternate and scale up proportionally, like so. And then we'll have this. Next thing I'm going to do is bring up another background so that I can actually start blending stuff together, right? And then I'm just going to scale this up as well. Hold alternate and scale up proportionally. Just like so. So I'm going to take this up a bit, and you get to see why I did that, or I'm doing so, right? So next thing I'm going to do is to change the blend mode to screen so that we can have something a little bit warm or something a little bit actually good to go, right? And then next thing I'm going to do is to right click on this particular layer, and then I'm going to rasterize it. Now the reason why I'm doing that is because I actually want to apply the healing tool to sort of get rid of this watermark right here. Now basically, of course, in Pixel App, if I was using my phone, right, I would have to first of all take this to Snapseed and then get that done and then bring it back to Pixel App. It's a whole lot, but it's actually quite interesting to be able to get amazing designs done using whatever means you have available to you, right? It's actually good to be that versatile. Alright, so that being said and then be done, next thing I'm going to now do is to bring up this particular sort of pillar right here that I got from the internet, and I'm just going to scale up like this first of all. So I'm going to leave it that way. Let me scale up a bit too as well. I'm going to leave it like that, so I'll take it up a bit so I have this. Alright, so for this particular image, right, I'm going to scale it down just like so, and I'm going to place it here. Alright, so this is good as we are actually getting somewhere. Now next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up. Now from this particular image I got, right, that was where this was actually cut out, right? So just in case you want to know how images are cut out on using Photoshop, right, you can do it. Let me know, I can make a video about that, or you can simply just search on YouTube how to get that done. But if you want to learn that from me specifically, you can let me know in the comment section and I can make YouTube shorts for that. Alright, so now basically we have this here. What I want to do is first of all I'm going to erase this particular handlebar. I actually don't need it, right? So I'm simply going to come here to add a layer adjustment mask or a add layer mask, right? And then I'm going to hit B on my keyboard to bring up the brush. Now remember, you can right click to ensure that the hardness is at 0% so that you get that soft feel for your brush, and then you can adjust the size as well from here, or you can simply just hit your open bracket or close bracket to reduce or increase the size of your brush, as you can see. So I'm just going to clean that up, and then we have that off the way, right? Now, next thing I'm going to do is coming back to this pillar, because basically we're doing a little bit of basic manipulation right here. So we need everything to sort of fit, right? So that it makes perfect sense. So that we don't have things looking forced, all right, or giving a false perspective, right? So this being done, next thing I'm going to do is to come right here to this particular place, or rather I'm going to click below it, and then next thing I'm going to do is to get a sort of like get my pen tool. I'll just hit P on my keyboard, or you can go into the toolbar right here and then look for the pen tool, right? So hitting P on my keyboard is sort of like shortcut, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right here, ensure that the shape is selected, and then I'm going to choose the fill color to be something a little bit dark, not dark, but something around this color. I could pick this. So I actually don't need a complete black, but I just need something that, you know, can serve as sort of like a soft shadow, right? And then the stroke, I'm going to turn it off. I actually don't need it. So the next thing I'm going to do is to come to right here, this place. I'm just going to click, or rather I'll make it bigger. I'm going to click from here, click, and then I'm going to click, and I'll cover it up here, just like so. Now after doing that, I want to pick my move tool, hit V on my keyboard to select the move tool, and then, you know, we have this. So basically what I'm going to do next is to come to filter, and I'm simply going to go to blur. I'm going to go to blur, and it's going to ask me if I want to rasterize the image or convert it to smart object. I'm simply going to just click on it, convert to smart objects, and then I'm going to have something like this, right? So this is actually looking weird, but the color is looking weird, but we'll fix that in a bit, right? So yeah, I can adjust the radius so give me that soft feel of a shadow, right? I can adjust it a bit too. Okay, I think that's good for now, and then I can click on enter. So the next thing I can do is to what I can do now is to, I'm going to right click. I can do this both ways, right? But I think let me just go with the shorter way, all right, so that, you know, it doesn't take too much time for a tutorial, right? So I'm going to right click, actually just right click, and this popped up on the layer, and then I'm simply going to go to color overlay. I'm going to ensure this is normal, and then I'm going to make sure this is black, or something close to black if at all, right? Just like so. And then next thing I'm going to do is to drop the opacity right here, so we can have this soft looking shadow on floor. So this is before the image is all looking like it's floating, right? And this after, it looks more convincing to the eye, like you know, more convincing to the eye, right? So we can actually make that more convincing, right, by coming right here, right click to pick an ellipse tool, and then I'm going to ensure the color is black, and then I'm just going to create an ellipse like this, something not too dramatic, and then I'm going to pick the move tool. I'm going to just place it like this. So I'm going to hit Control on my keyboard, and then I'm going to make this like this, make this like this, and then I'm going to make this like this, sort of like warping the perspective of the ellipse, right? And then I'm going to bring this behind. I'm going to bring it to this place. I'm going to bring this a bit, and the next thing I can do is to you know, go back to my filter. So basically one thing about Photoshop is that it actually saves the last effect as long as you've actually not had that particular project closed, right? So this is the last effect we did, so I can simply just click on this instead of going through the whole process again from the very scratch, right? So what I can now simply do is to take this up a bit, and then we sort of have this. Now I'm simply going to create a layer mask. I'll pick the brush tool, and then I'm simply going to fade out that you know, sort of like harsh this time I was getting. Not quite enough, right? So that's for that. Now I can actually zoom out to see the before. This is the before and this is the after, right? Makes more sense than what we had before, right? Now next thing I'm going to do is to simply come up with the name of the artwork, of which the name of the artwork was Seek Your Face. So I'm just going to hit T on my keyboard. It's going to pull up the text too, right? And then next thing I'm going to do is to click on the artboard anywhere. Actually, you can adjust the text right here, and then I can search for a font. I'm going to search for a font, which is Clavin Trier. I'm going to simply click on this place, and I'm going to sample and the color. I think I like this color actually. Okay, this is good. I can make it a little bit darker. All right, that's perfect. So I'm simply going to first of all type in seek, and then I'm going to make this big like this. So basically, right, I forgot to mention, right, so one of the reasons why I went through this direction was because of the title of the song, which is Seek Your Face, right? Now basically, right, as a designer, one thing you can actually learn to do is to ensure that your designs speak visually. You can communicate visually to people without them saying the word, right? They should be able to, or rather they should be able to sort of tie whatever you did or your design to what the text is actually saying, right? Everything should sort of make sense. There's something they will always say on the internet, la collabo, right? So everything, your content and your design direction actually has to collaborate together to make perfect sense, right? So that's basically one way you can actually be an amazing designer, and then people get to just fall in love with your work and love the things that you do, right? So I'm pretty much going to change the font. I'm going to search for Red Sky, and I have this. So I'm simply going to change the color of this right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click, and I'm going to add a gradient overlay, which is right here. And then I'm just going to leave this overlay because it sort of pop a bit, right? Just like that. And then I'm going to double click again to add up a little bit of shadow so that it can be much more clear and sort of obvious in my design, right? So I'm going to play with the size, I'm going to play with the distance, and then I'm going to, let me just increase the size a bit for good measure. I'll drop it down a bit. I actually don't want it much. I'll reduce the opacity a bit, right? Just like this, and then we're good to go, right? Now next thing I'm going to do is to adopt a little bit of what we call where the different type of platform that the music is going to be available on, right? So I'm going to, the plan is to have it right here to sort of blend with the arc that I have going on in design, right? So next thing I'm going to do is to pull up the icons that I got off the internet. So I'm just simply going to reduce like this first of all, just like so. And then next thing I'm going to do is, in order for me to have all the icons on one straight line, what I'm simply going to do is to first of all right click on this to rasterize the layer so that I can actually make any adjustment I want to make to it effortlessly. I'm going to click on M on my keyboard to pick the marquee tool. I'm going to select the first bottom of the icons, and then I'm going to click on V to pick move to, so that I can move the icons to where I want them to be, just like so. As you can see it, so everything is pretty much simple. There's no magic to it actually. If you actually know the simple things in Photoshop, you can actually get work done easily without stress. You can get things done effortlessly as you see on your screen, right? So Now, next thing I'm going to simply do is to click on any of the anchor points, and I'm going to right click, right? Because if I don't click on any of the anchor points, let's say for instance, right, it's going to show me something like this, which I actually don't want, right? So what I have to do is to click on any of the anchor points, and then I'm going to right click, and then I'm going to choose warp. So I'm simply going to come right here to warp, and I'm going to pick the arc function. So I'm going to ensure that it becomes an arc like this, and then let's see if this works, or if this warps perfectly. So I'll bring it down. Oops, sorry. I'll bring this down. So it actually doesn't warp properly. So I'm going to fix that again by clicking on warp, and then I'm going to warp it again till I get something that sits properly on the arc, right? And so we have this. Then I'm going to reduce just like so. And I'm going to reduce like so again. So what I'm simply going to do is to spread it a bit, just like that. I'm going to reduce it so that it doesn't take it doesn't sort of what's the word? It doesn't compete for attention with the other elements I have on the design, right? So after that is being done, I'm going to hit T, and then I'm going to write the name of the producer. So I'm just going to change color to a grayish black, if that makes sense. And I'm going to change the font to Sora, and then I'm going to choose the Sora regular. I'm going to just add up the producer name, produced by, I think, for confidential English for confidentiality, right? I'll just use a random name, right? So that we don't get to it's a wise thing to do when you're working with actual clients. You don't just put their stuff out there, right? Even if they paid for it, right? It's something to learn. Alright, it's something to learn as a designer who wants to start working with professional entities, right? So I'm just going to warp this again, and then I'm going to warp it like this. Click on this, then it has this. So I'll make this smaller. I'll take this inside again. Alright, so basically I forgot to add something that was mentioned in the design, right? So one of the title is the believers anthem. Alright, so I highlight everything, pick a grayish black, and I'm going to change the font to Garant Pro. Then I'm going to leave it as the regular, and then I'm going to simply reduce the text a bit so that it sort of just sits here, right? Just like that. So basically, stick your face. I'm just going to highlight everything. I'm going to pick this. I'm simply picking everything by holding Control on my keyboard to select them, right? And I'm going to Ctrl G to group everything, right? So I can just name this main. I love to do that in almost all my projects, right? So I don't get to look for my elements. So I can just make everything bigger at once instead of trying to do them individually, right? So I can bring this down a bit, and then this believers item, and make it smaller a bit, right? And then I'll place this here. And so the next thing I can actually do is to bring this below this man right here, right? So I'll rename this man, right? And then, so that it sort of be, look as if it's behind the person, right? So that being done, next thing I'm going to do is we're almost done with design actually. Next thing I'm going to do is to add up the name of the artist, of which of course I'm just going to add up something generic, right? So I could just say gospel, or rather I could just say Nkiru, okay, Nkiru Madison, right? So basically we'll have all the text actually chunked up. I'm simply going to go to properties. If you can't find this here on your Photoshop, right, what you can actually do is go to Windows, and then you see properties. Ensure it is checked. Alright, so and then I'm simply going to just increase this just like so. And then since we have that, I can come right here to search for my font. I'm going to search for Red Sky, and then I'm going to simply just click on this and drag it towards the space right here, just like so. We did it a bit. Now basically, in order for this to actually be clear, I could double click, right, and then I'm simply going to add outer glow, and then we can start working it from here. So first thing I'm going to do is to change color to white, obviously, so that it's well pronounced. And then I actually don't think I need to tweak anything too much. I think the spread is okay. Can increase the spread a bit, so let's say 10, and then we're good to go. So this is the before, this is the after, right? And then next thing I'm going to do is to, first of all, I'm going to take this guy up a bit, alright, because I need space for something. Or rather, I'm simply going to pick the man and then pick the what's it called, the shadows that we created, right? Just like this. And then I'm simply going to bring it down a bit. Alright, and then of course don't forget we also have this one right here, so I'm going to bring it down a bit so that it's sort of just we don't have anything looking too weird or too sort of off points, right? So basically I'll come back to this very particular layer of the background. I'll add a brush, a layer mask. I'll pick the brush too. I'm seeing a very harsh line right here, so I'll simply just fade it out, just like so, just like so, just like so, and then we're good to go. I'll do the same thing for the shadows as well. Pick the brush to fade it out. Now another thing to note, when you want to hide stuff, right, using the layer mask and brush to ensure your foreground color is black. Black actually hides, and then white reduces. You can swap by hitting X on your keyboard, or you can just swap by hitting this icon right here. That's something to note, right? And then also for this particular guy, I think everything is blended up right now to my taste a bit, right? So now basically I'm still not okay with this particular background I'm having right here, so I'm going to double click on this color overlay, and I'm going to sort of sample a color that doesn't look so dark, but it can communicate that there's a shadow here, of which is something I am looking for. That's too much. Alright, so this is good, right? This was the before, it was all black, and this is the after, right? So it's sort of giving it a little blend to our design, right? Just the way I want it. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is to could just simply, I'm creating new text, hit T on my keyboard, and then I'm just going to simply click, and I'm going to write available on all streaming platform, just like that. I can change the color to white, and then I'm simply going to make it bold, and then reduce the size, right? Just like so, and then we have that seat right there. Now practically we're done with the design, right? So I'm just going to add a little bit of touch to it, and then we can call it a day, right? So I'm simply going to go to my resource file, and then I'm going to simply just bring up this flare. I'm going to reduce it a bit, and I'm going to change the blend mode to screen. So basically you can see that Photoshop is actually like the house of everything you need to get done. If it's Pixellab, I have to first of all do the design on Pixellab, and then I have to after the design is done on Pixellab, I now have to sort of take the design to photo room, and then I do the lighting effect, right? Just to add a little bit of extra glare to the design, right? And then of course after that I now have to take the design to what's it called? I have to now take the design to Lightroom to sort of make it pop and make it crisp. But in Photoshop it's actually not like that. You have everything all done on Photoshop. Of course as well, you can also cut out image on your PC using the Photo Room website as well, right? It's also available for PC, right? I actually don't know if it's available for Mac, but I know it's available for PC, right? So and then you can, if you don't want to go through stress of using the pencil on Photoshop to cut out images, you can as well use the Photo Room drag and drop, cut it out in a matter of seconds, and then you can bring it back to Photoshop. Very easy to do. I actually do it myself. It saves time for me, right? Now, needless to say, I don't know how to use the pencil. I actually learned how to use the pencil, and I learned how to, cut out images from the time I started using Photoshop way back. I think then CC 2019. No, CC 20. Yeah, 2019 was what was available to me then. So, we actually didn't have this cool fancy tools we use then and we use now, right? You have to actually do everything almost manually, right? So now that's just by the wayside. Now next thing I'm going to do is, all the designs are done, right? I'm simply going to double click on the artboard, and I'm going to rename this as music art work design, just like so. And then now basically all the designs are done. These are all the layers back here, but I actually want a layer that encompasses all the design or all the layers in one. So briefly, what I'm going to do is to simply hit Ctrl, alternate Shift, and click on E all at the same time. And practically what you're telling Photoshop to do with that command is to take a screenshot of all your folders or all your layers and merge it into one layer, right? So basically I'm going to right click and I want to convert it to smart objects. Now the reason because I do that is so that whatsoever effects or filter I use for this particular layer, I can always re-edit it to my liking and to whatever choice I deem fit. Alright, so that's why I actually make it a smart object. So I'm simply going to go to filter, and then I'm going to go to camera raw. So remember those things I normally do with Pixellab, where I have to simply go to what's it called? I have to go to Lightroom to get the design looking crisp and all of that, right? So basically that's what camera raw is for, right? You can actually do that as well in camera raw using the camera raw filter, right? So I'm simply going to tweak the contrast like this, and then I'm going to sort of keep the highlight a bit, the shadows. I'll increase the shadows a bit, the white. So basically I'm just playing around with the sliders to get what I want, or to get the best result possible. And I'll come to textures, and then I'll come to clarity, add a little bit of clarity, and then I'll close the basic tab, and then I'll go to details, and then I increase the sharpening to this extent. There you have it. Just like that. Click on OK, and then you have the camera raw filter applied to the design. So this is the before and this is the after. So you can basically now say, by coming to the artboard, by clicking on it and then right click to export, you can do a quick export as PNG, and that automatically will save your file to wherever directory you have it saved on your laptop. That will be all for now, guys. Do it to follow through, do it to like, do it to follow, subscribe rather. Also do it to share with persons that right? Do it to share with friends. And like I always say, you can do it to let them know that, oh, I found I found a YouTube channel that can actually teach you how to do designs. I mean, amazing designs in a stretch. And then you can sort of check the channel out. You can share with persons that and then you can ensure that they follow through, right? So that will be all for now. So basically, this is just sort of the entire project, right? So this is the what we just worked on, and this sort of like our post, right? That I just sort of manipulated. Nothing really serious here, right? I just had to take this design, place it here, and then just have the artist on one side of it, just to ensure that people know that all the songs are up now and all of that, right? So that'll be all for now. See you guys. Ensure to subscribe, ensure to like, ensure to comment, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.